Good evening. Welcome to We the People, and let's talk for a while about the United States of Hate, or at least the President of Hate. The United States, and under President Trump, is presently trying to deport any immigrants that are here illegally, and I'm not disputing that the people who've committed serious crimes or came from countries having committed serious crimes should be found, arrested, and deported. That's beyond question. But the hatred of immigrants and who they are and what they represent started when Donald Trump referred to them 8 years ago as coming from shithole countries. He's never recognized that these are people trying to get to the United States to make a better life for them and their families, and in fact, trying to improve the lives of Americans. Unlike Trump, who was handed on a silver platter a real estate company that had started when his grandfather ran a hotel and a whorehouse in Alaska, they didn't have the opportunity to be given something on a silver platter. The only time that Trump talks about liking something that I can recall is when he said that he'd like, when he was excoriating Senator John McCain for having been not doing his bidding, and he said he liked people that weren't captured and weren't POWs. Of course, he'd like people who weren't POWs. He never had a chance to be a POW because he escaped and avoided the draft every chance he had. And we'd also note that none of his sons and none of his family ever served in the military or served this country before he started to run for president. So he surrounds himself with people who seem to have the same view, or even, I don't know if it's possible to be worse, as he does. For example, Elon Musk. Elon Musk has been a big supporter of the neo-Nazi party in Germany, known as AfD, which is alternative for Deutschland, alternative for Germany. They are Nazi, they are anti-Semitic, they're anti people of color. They uh, every time Trump seems to see somebody of color in a position of authority, they couldn't have gotten there on merit. They had to have been there on DEI. He is a fine one to talk about DEI and how he got to where he did through merit. Uh, but it's an affront to everybody who's worked hard and everybody who's gotten to where they are on merit to have somebody judged otherwise, and to do it in a day or two of looking at them. This isn't justice. This is railroading at its best. The there are people. One of the people that work for Elon Musk has said that hates people from India. That he was proud that he was a Nazi before it was cool to be a Nazi, and it's not clear to me whenever it was cool to be a Nazi. Maybe he meant cruel to be a Nazi, and that he thinks that both Gaza and Palestine should be leveled. Or I don't mean Gaza and Palestine. I mean both Gaza and Israel should be leveled because he's anti-Semitic as well. One of the spokesman for Marco Rubio at the Department of State the other day suggested that black people should be sterilized and they should be incentivized to be sterilized by being given a pair of Air Jordans. This is the height of stupidity. It's interesting that while Trump talks about the 51st state being Canada and taking over Greenland. He doesn't talk about Puerto Rico becoming a state. He doesn't talk about Mexico becoming a state. But he talks at the same time of taking over Gaza and making it part of the United States, but only doing it after he's gotten rid of everybody who has been inhabitants of Gaza for years. He recently proposed that white people from South Africa who feel in any way subject to racism should be allowed to come immediately to the United States. And noteworthy, not only has Greenland said hell no, not only has Canada said hell no,